I'm going to try something a little different today. Starting on the edge of Peabody here at the Potter Corner, and we're going to go to Burns via the back roads. It's just a beautiful place of historical significance in the Peabody area here. Beautiful skies today. Then you go east of Peabody here on this road. It just becomes a beautiful hilly road, like you're in the Ozarks. You can see the windmills there to the north. Beautiful grasses in the ditch there. You get east just far enough and it opens up into the beautiful Flint Hills. And you can see these oil field tanks that used to not be there. At the end of the road was a cattle chute. I took pictures of that 30 years ago. It opens up to this beautiful old relic of a stone house. Yeah, just beautiful. Old cattle guard here at the gate. Opens up to the windmills and the oil derrick in the background. Coming up to Watchorn Corner, or just east of here, there was a oil field boom town in the early 1900s. Oh, just getting here, I can smell the oil. You can see some of the remains of the construction there in the concrete. Well, here we came to the Summit Cemetery. Right where I'm standing, there used to be a church. I'll give you a picture of it here that I took 30 years ago. Well, what does this summit have to do with Burns or Peabody? Well, Peabody, Burns, and the Summit schools are what consolidated in 1965. There used to be a Summit school about 2 miles north of here, and all that's left is a foundation. I took some pictures earlier this summer out there. There used to always be a segment in the newspaper called Diameter News. Always be the social aspects of this community. What was going on, who visited who. See if I can find a gravestone that has Peabody connections here. Real colorful character in that area. This will show up on video, but if we can read that. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I will think to myself, what a wonderful world. Joseph Gaines. I believe that's the J.D. Gaines of the Peabody area. When you drive by the entrance to Burns, if you look to the east, you usually see this elevator. And I've taken a lot of pictures of it in the past. There's a cemetery here to my left, and I'll drive up in there and I'll show you the perspectives I usually get of it. You see the elevators across the road there too. Quite windy today. Doesn't this old noise remind you of an old school playground? What I like to do is position this white cross against that elevator. Try to get position maybe between the elevator, between the cross and the tree there. Step back about 50 yards and zoomed in just a little bit. Then everything gets framed really nice there. Of course, the leaves are about off the tree. I stepped back even further and went in movie mode, so it crops in a little bit with my camera. I'm going to do just the opposite. Go in the ultra wide angle. Not ultra, but wider angle. Then you almost have to force the camera to go into the picture or the view up mode. And make the elevator a secondary object. Always a windmill in Kansas. Coming across 177 here, all you see is trucks and more trucks. I should mention that Burns has a lot of Holderman Mennonites around. They're kind of like the Amish, except that they have modern farming practices and less clothing requirements, at least for the guys. The gals still wear a hairpiece and dresses, and you'll see them everywhere. Whenever we go out to trips out west, we always see them. They like to go on vacation too. We've even ran across them. Some of them ran a bakery in Del Norte, Colorado, and we came back from Florida. Well, it's been like 10 years ago. In Transylvania, Louisiana, they have a church. We have a Goodwin Industries here. Not sure exactly what they make. Some kind of metal fabrication. You can hear them welding in there. And we're coming up to the old high school here. And we'll park in here. There's the detail around the door here. Paint's coming off. I like their swing sets here. Someone's planted some nice trees here. So the high school closed in mid-60s. The grade school and junior high went until 1997. It's like the co-op sign kind of went kaput. $1921. That's the city hall. It used to be a shoe repairman in that. No boating day today. This is where they would boat. Burns Community Center. Besides the high school there, they do have a park here too. Maybe this is part of the Catholic Church here. It's a historic church here. I'll show you that in a little bit. You got that right next door to it. Marion and Cincinnati. You get some of this. good place for debris, I guess. Oh, there's a Rothmobile. Rothliner. Ted Roth, he ran a trucking outfit out of Whitewater for a while, and he built these RVs out of buses. I think he has a daughter that lives here. What I didn't mention, they had a famous movie, had some scenes here in Burns, called Mars Attack. It wasn't my kind of movie, really, and I haven't seen the whole movie, just clips of it. It was probably in the early 2000s, possibly late 90s. They used scenes here. They built, I believe, a little house or a restaurant that they blew up or something. So you can check that out if you want to see Burns in the big movies. Called Mars Attack. There's a lot of stuff in that yard. I don't think you get any more on that porch. There is a church here, Cornerstone Bible. I'm going to say it used to be the Methodist. There is some Mennonite churches in the surrounding area. One's a Holderman church. One was a General Conference Mennonite. Now, is that an El Camino over there? Yeah, it looks like it. I shot my first wedding pictures 35 years ago. Not quite 35, but close to it. Had a reception in this building here, I believe. Now it's a private home. The wedding was in the Mennonite church outside of town, a few miles. I remember this tire store run by a guy who was interested in airplanes. In the lobby there, he'd always have experimental airplane magazines. Good luck, Peabody Burns Warriors. Have a nice gazebo here. And you can get pizza, chili, cinnamon rolls, ice cream. So again, via the elevator. Got a sign down here, the truck route. Some big elevators.